This is a Power 98.7 podcast. Now we're talking. Subscribe to Power 98.7 podcasts in iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. There's more on power987.co.za.
Power Focus Week is proudly brought to you by Telkom, celebrating phenomenal women who are making a meaningful contribution in technology.
Indeed, we continue with our focus and our celebration of Telkom's phenomenal women who unlock their power through digital. Phenomenal 10 is a selection of women in the tech sector that represent the best of what women can become despite everything. Guided by the company's brand's ethos of leaving no one behind in a digitally connected world, Telkom has decided to take on proactive steps to acknowledge the struggles and success of remarkable women. And I'm joined in the studio by one such successful woman. And one phenomenal woman is Mamello Mofokeng, the CEO of Saturated. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And thank you for coming in to join us in studio. Always better to put a face to the CEO's voices. Good to have you with us.
No, I'm happy to be here.
And congratulations on being named as one of Telkom's 10 phenomenal women. But let's first start talking about your organization, CEO, the Saturated.
Yes.
Tell us more about Saturated.
So Saturated is a sector-agnostic digital solutions agency, and we basically leverage and utilize technologies to come up with solutions that we face everyday struggles, businesses, challenges, because technology is everywhere. So it's really such a great tool to kind of go into the different sectors, different saturated sectors, and make a change and make a difference.
I was about to ask, why the name Saturated? How did you come up with that?
It's basically a play on words because we go into saturated spaces, we use innovation, we disrupt, and we make sure that you see the difference when we are there.
How did you identify the opportunity? Maybe it's just there's actually a way of getting a sense of your entry into the tech space. How does Mamello get involved in this space?
I got involved through participating in different types of opportunities that were there for women in the tech space. I started off with getting certain skills, your data science skills, your cybersecurity skills. It
was that as in what you studied?
Yes,
that your background is in tech?
Yes, my background started in tech, and then through COVID, I was like, okay, let's do this, because I had more time. We were all working from home, and it was much easier to kind of focus on the business and really, really tackle that space.
And when I say your background is in tech, what were you doing? Is it an IT specifically, or which area of tech did you come into the space in?
So my background is in sciences, and then I think there's a connection between sciences and technology and maths, so I kind of all breathe together.
So innovation, ultimately.
Yeah, basically. And then participating in a data science program was what kind of allowed me to immerse myself in that space. And then I started seeing the opportunities, seeing what you can do in those spaces, and there were opportunities. There are opportunities, yeah.
Now, obviously, Telkom has chosen to focus on women specifically in this space, and that is because of a challenge that they have identified in terms of women getting into tech careers, and young women in particular getting into careers, technology careers. What was your experience? What was your journey? As you say, you come from a science background, but what was your experience in terms of identifying opportunities, and two, it's one thing to identify opportunities, but having access to those opportunities? What did you find?
No, that's true, because I definitely think from a young age, I wasn't exposed, nor was that accessibility there to kind of know and understand the careers in IT. So I was more leaning towards what I knew, where my skills were, what I thought I would be good at. And then when it came to practically being able to enter the space, there's many ways to teach yourself. There's many programs, there's many opportunities. If you kind of set your mind to it, you'll break into the space, because although you'll walk in a room and there'll be 10 men, there is still going to be 2 women in the room, and you'll be able to kind of make that connection and push yourself, because it doesn't serve as a weakness. You kind of use it as a strength as well. You use it as a strength because you know that when I walk in that room, some way or somehow, they're going to remember me.
Because I'm wondering, if you walk into the room, as you say, there's 10 men and maybe only 2 women. Do you see the 2 women, or are you just like thinking, oh gosh, here we go again, when you see the 10 men? Are you daunted by that?
No, immediately I see the two women. That's why I'm like, it plays as a strength.
Sure.
Because then you can know, you can build. That the other woman will also give you like advice and say, yo, I experienced this and I experienced this. And we are all in the same boat. So if you don't come together and break those barriers, you'll never know. It will always just be the 10 men in the room.
Right. And I mean, knowing what you do now, and having gone through the journey that you've traveled, what do you think you wish that you had access to? What do you think would have encouraged you to even start? Because as you say, you're not really exposed to it wasn't even an area of interest when you were younger. And I think that's a story that's of many young women in this country, many young girls who are still at school today, who are not really looking in that direction. What do you think would have swayed you in a direction of tech? Because clearly this is where the opportunities of the future lie.
I honestly think knowledge more than everything, because I did do IT as a subject in school, but it was like just a subject that I was doing. It wasn't a career or what I was focused on pursuing at the time. So I think...
Because I'm wondering why you ended up in science as opposed to pursuing that IT. Yeah.
So, I mean, hence why I'm like, I think knowledge. I think if I had maybe exposed myself, if there was more knowledge out there at the time, if I knew what the curriculums entailed, or I knew how it could have been implemented now, because today it's in your face, but maybe then we were still leaning towards processes and systems, and now it's the same, because technology is processes and systems, maybe just in a different language.
And what are you doing? How are you empowering young women and young girls to get into this space, and giving them that knowledge and education that you speak of?
I'm always forcing them to participate in whatever competition is out there. Be on the lurk. There's so many organizations that are offering this right now, like just in the palm of your fingertips, so now it's just a click of a button. Try, you never know. You could have this undiscovered skill that you've never even tried to pursue, or you didn't even know it was something that you could utilize in your everyday life. So mainly just to be actionable in what you are doing, and seek those opportunities, because they are there and they will come to you. You'll just see them come to you, and just always try. You have nothing to lose. Fail because that's bound to happen, but you need to get back up and just keep on going.
Apart from the obvious, exposure and the showcasing that you get from, through a program such as this Phenomenal Women one, what else what is the kind of support that you also, or the benefit that you also derive from an association with a company such as Telkom and the work they're doing in the tech space?
It's so interesting to kind of see, because I'm a small business. We're from a small business. And then you kind of get to see the similarities that are within even a small business and a big organization. You kind of get to see how you can improve, what systems are they using. They encourage you to get better. What type of development can you get? Like mentorship, the exposure, knowing that you're not reaching by actually pursuing your dreams. It's actually just a path that you need to follow, and eventually you'll get there, because everybody has that story. It didn't just like happen like from magic, it took something for that person to get there. Absolutely. So it's very, very nice, because sometimes it's like something in your mind, you don't see it happen, but now it's happening, and it's like, okay, it can happen.
And do you see a clear pathway? As you say, you describe your business now as a small business. I mean, I'm sure that's just a temporary description. It's not always going to be a small business. Do you see a clear pathway in terms of growth for Saturated?
No, I definitely see the pathway. It's just not smooth. It's definitely rocky. You need to overcome those hurdles. Sometimes it will feel like you're going back, but only in the end do you realize, oh, okay, you are actually still moving forward. It just took longer for you to get there. So I think having that vision, it really does help. And if you are someone who's in business and you're an entrepreneur and you have a side hustle and you have anything, as long as you have that goal in mind, don't be too worried about how long it's going to get you to get there, or, just start. And then you'll see the path slowly making its way and slowly showing itself to you.
I think that's a wonderful note on which to end it. That's Mamello Mofokeng, CEO of Saturated. She is one of Telkom's 10 phenomenal women who are involved in this tech space. I've loved chatting to you. Thank you so much for coming in, and all the best with all the what you're doing with Saturated, and all the best with inspiring more and more women to get into this space.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
There you go. And we'll continue, of course, profiling more of these 10 phenomenal women. Do tune in tomorrow. It is 4 minutes before 9.
Power Focus Week was proudly brought to you by Telkom, celebrating phenomenal women who are making a meaningful contribution in technology.
You've been listening to a Power 98.7 podcast. For more podcasts, visit power987.co.za or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.